So, this is a question that comes up fairly regularly, and it's a very good question. How do you, as a band, optimize your Bandcamp use? And I don't even know if I'm the most qualified guy to ask on this question, although I do have some very strong opinions. Most of them are stolen, though, from Mr. Bucky Brown, who you should be following if you want to understand how to use Bandcamp, because he is a top Bandcamp user, not in a band, but just very known in that community and very dedicated to that community, and I have unbelievable respect for that man, just because of the amount of valuable content he creates. He runs Doom Charts, by the way. Key points I want to get at with this. First and foremost, with your Bandcamp, remember that Bandcamp is a community. It's a social media platform, in a way. And you'll get a lot of traction out of Bandcamp if you take advantage of some of the exterior fan-facing features. So if you go out and you leave a lot of reviews on your peers' pages, you're going to get a lot of traction out of that. If you go out and you share other people's Bandcamps and you actually give shout-outs on your own Bandcamp to other people's pages, like the recommended artists or whatever, which you can set, that's another good way to just help generate. Again, it all starts with giving. So if people see, like, you're in a band giving to people, you're going to grow. Beyond that, when it comes to your actual Bandcamp page, there's a few key tips. The biggest one bands fuck up all the time. If your digital downloads are free, which they should be, unless you're a bigger band and it's your new record, make it free, but you need to get their email out of it, right? Because that grows your mailing list. And that's the most important thing, is if you can grow your mailing list, that's going to help you a lot over the long term. When you have a new record, it's going to get more people checking you out. You know, people are going to find out, like, automatically with Bandcamp, if you collect emails and then you put out a new record, it will go email everyone for you. That's huge. If you do what you can to collect as many emails as possible, you know, it's only going to pay off even more dividends in the future, right? So be aware of that feature, especially, like, if you're not a national touring band, everything on your Bandcamp should be free, because very few people want to download digital media anyway. So, like, you're not really screwing yourself out of anything. Like, if you have people buying your music on iTunes, is iTunes still around? Like if you have people actually buying your downloads, then, like, charge, I guess. But, like, that's not really the case most of the time. You know what I mean? Like, if someone wants to support you, they'll just give you the money. You know, simple as that. Now, so free with email address. The other key thing on sort of just the main Bandcamp page is it's very good to have multiple releases, because that makes you seem bigger, right? And you need to have good art across all of them, right? So even if you have record, single, and those singles have their own good quality art, like, people are gonna fuck with that. People are gonna be like, oh wow, these guys have, you know, the basic psychological first impression is very, 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 very important. I cannot emphasize that enough. Make sure that when you're creating your Bandcamp, you know, or when you're trying to build your Bandcamp, that you have a few releases, you know, and, like, it's the same thing. Like, if you have an album and an EP, you're so much further than someone who just has an album. And your EP can literally just be a B-side, a cover song, and a live track. But if you have that and the art is good, you're fantastic. If you have two things where the art is the same, I don't care if it's the self-titled single from the self-titled record. I don't care. You need to have different art. Otherwise, it just looks tacky, for lack of a better term. So don't look tacky. A lot of big bands get a lot of traction using their Bandcamp as their merch page, you know? Like, Witch Mountain, their merch page is their Bandcamp. Warcloud, their merch page is their Bandcamp. Because Bandcamp charges basically the same as, like, Big Cartel or whatever, but it's easier to use, it's all integrated. Again, it reduces friction, because people will search your band Bandcamp. They won't search your band Big Cartel. So if they see the merch there, that's huge. So having your merch available on Bandcamp, crucially important. And on top of that, having the mock-ups look good is very, very important. A lot of times people do it and the mock-ups don't look good and it's just silly. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a dark picture of the ugly bassist fucking... It's dumb most of the time. So don't let it be dumb. Instead, create meaningful content that generates value for the other person by paying for a decent mock-up. If you need a hookup for a decent mock-up, DM me. If the merch looks good, people are much more likely to buy. So, to reiterate, wrapping this motherfucker up, give back to the community a lot. It's a slog, but it will pay off in the long run. Usually you can do that through reviews and recommending other artists, okay? Make sure that your page itself looks good. Make sure all the details are filled out, lyrics, band info, etc., etc., etc. Also good is to make sure your Instagram, Facebook, and website are all linked on the sidebar, along with the mini bio thing you have. You know, having multiple releases makes you look big, and then having a merch store that looks good is crucially important, because it really just kind of, you know, catches eyes, makes the next step happen. Simple as that.